Hey guys, like I said, like I put in the description for one of my playthrough videos, I'm actually doing an Uncharted 4 beta video. Now, a couple of notices before we begin. One, this isn't the best gameplay, like I've recorded later matches where I've done far better, but I had this video stored up in my, what's it, storage unit. I don't know what name it to give it anymore, just it's stored up there and I just want to go through each one systematically just to get rid of them. So you're going to see some good and bad, okay? Just brace yourself. Now, second notice, I have been excluded from school because, funnily enough, it's a bad idea on a lunchtime, on a lunch break, on a Tuesday afternoon, to walk down to the local pub by the school, down 2 pints of beer, mixed with an energy drink as well, which didn't help matters, then go back into school. So, and we've only got 2 days left of the term. I can understand why I've been put on expulsion, but at the same time, it's kind of like a really, is this necessary punishment? But anyway, so I've got tomorrow and Friday free to do videos, which means I am going to do. Last year I did a holiday treat or a holiday present, which was you guys an ACB video because I went on a long hiatus of AC Brotherhood and I thought just as a present I'll do one video. This year it's going to be Assassin's Creed again, but just kind of not how you expected it. But I'll wait for you to find out. I'll probably record tomorrow. Now, thirdly, I have been playing. Well, obviously the beta closed down. I played quite a lot of the beta, and it was quite decent. If I had to sum up in my opinion, it was quite decent. Now, obviously it was a beta, it's not the full product, but there's still a couple of criticisms I could draw out from it. It's just like, for starters, the first criticism I actually have, which is a double-edged sword criticism for me, is the whole choose your character for each match, choose which character you want to play as, and every match is like, okay, this match I'm going to play as Nathan Drake, this match I'm going to play as Charlie Cutter if I'm on the hero side, this match I'm going to play as Marlowe, the other match I'm going to play as Harry Flynn. It's like, I find that to be a double-edged sword. Like, I haven't properly got used to it from the Uncharted 3 multiplayer where you pick the character, you picked a persona to don, and it's just like, that is your persona. That is who you're playing as every single match unless you decide to change it. But one thing I really, really like, you're about to see it, it's this new points and perks system. Like, you can pick a special ability to have, you can pick like an AI bot who specialises in a certain area that can come and assist you if you call him in, and throughout the match you're scoring points, which is getting banks. Obviously, as you can see, it's coming up as dollars. You get points for KOing, essentially killing enemies when they're down. You get points for downing enemies. You're getting more points for downing enemies, but then you get 50 points for killing off the enemy, which is actually a bit of a cool design move. So it means the person who downs an enemy actually gets more points, more credits. However, it can still be abused. Say, like, if I'm behind cover, just like blind firing, putting bullets into like my enemies, and then one of my teammates just flanks around, puts a couple bullets to finish off the enemies, he can get 150 points, whereas I've done most of the work and I'm only gratified with a 25 assist point. But that's always been a problem in first-person shooters, how to appropriately reward, damaging your enemies, doing damage to your teammates. Either way, but getting back onto topic, the whole special ability things I actually like, because like my brother was saying to me when I was playing it one day, and he just came to the living room. He's just like, "This is fucking mental. Like, I've seen you play Uncharted 3 multiplayer, but this is mental." Like, and I was thinking, yes, it's cool, it's mental, it's different, it's out there, it's weird. Like, it's not trying to just be a conventional cover shooter. It's trying to be an Uncharted styled multiplayer. It's still cover shooter because that's what Uncharted is, still cover shooter. But like, your enemy can just pick up, like, can use the power of the djinn to then like dart across the map, or as I can use. Fuck. I actually forget the other abilities. It's been quite a while. I need to go back and learn all the abilities, learn all the psychic. I need to relearn everything. I just hopped onto the beta, just like, not really paying attention much to it. Just like, okay, I'm playing this. This is fucking epic. But yes, like, using abilities to, you know, point out enemies on the mini-map, or using abilities to actually cause high rates of damage. Like, if you can group all the enemies together in one area, then throwing down an ability which then spawns up, which would cause damage to enemies, either cause them to disperse, or if you can flank around behind them, essentially putting them in a rock and a hard place. These abilities, when thrown into the mix in a match, they're actually sick. They actually give the game, they give matches a certain taste. It's just like, if I use this ability, I can change the course of this map. However, I would suggest that for the final product, they actually slightly increase the damage of the guns. They slightly up the power of the guns, the damage they deal out, all that kind of stuff. Simply because at times it's felt like these abilities can just overwhelm you. Like, if the enemy team, or in fact if your team, if you all store up credits and you all just decide to unleash abilities and sidekicks, you can turn the tide of a fucking match quickly as hell. It is ridiculous. But destructible environments, I kind of like that, and thankfully they haven't abused this. Again, it's a bit like Battlefield 4. It's just like on certain maps on Battlefield 4, it's like one or two pieces of the environment is like the main destructibility part. The environment's still interactive in a sense, like you've got the rope line, and there's certain parts of the map where you can rope across, you can blow up certain things, you can destroy certain pieces of cover, but it's not like, okay, here's the map, tear it apart. It's still, okay, so I think the destructible environments they got right, but finally, I'll actually put this as a finally, graphics. Obviously you're going to be watching this in 720p at 30 frames per second, so it's not going to give a fair representation, but simply playing the beta, it looked very good. Like, one of my friends, like, sort of messaged me when I told him I was playing the beta. He's just like, is it better looking than The Last of Us Remastered? And I actually, personal opinion, not that much different. Like, it's still very close. Like, The Last of Us is still a gorgeous looking game, but each of them have their own art direction, so it's a bit hard to compare them, but still, it's a fantastic looking game with great sounds. And overall, the beta was just, my opinions of the beta, it was a sick event. I can't wait for the main game, but obviously I feel like they need to make a couple of changes, like increase gun damage, and I'm not too keen on the whole pick your hero for each match kind of thing. But anyway, end of the video. I'll see you guys.